If there's one thing that Australian families could protect, according to you, what that one thing would be?
It gives me a sense of peace. Firstly, whenever I go to temple, you feel refreshed, you feel that okay, you feel charged up again, because we want our kids to grow up in a free environment, in an independent environment, and in search of that, in running after that independence, we sometimes lose those values. So having a balance of both, being connected to your religion, not in a superstitious way, but in a way which gives you faith, in a way which gives you positivity, is very, very important.
Your experience in property would have taught a lot of values and lessons as well. Would you like to cover a couple of those?
I started my journey buying my own house. That was in 2020. I think buying established properties, buying older properties could be a better vehicle. Property needs some time to grow. It doesn't grow overnight. To buy an established property and then let it grow for another 10 years. So that's where it becomes a little bit risky.
Give us a little bit of values that you've been raised with and you'd like to instill that in your family and kids too.
Self-confidence in the kids. So, something that they can take lifelong. That is something my parents have done, and that is what I'm trying to do with my kids at this stage.
Namaste and welcome to Sanatan Dharma Sayogi podcast. Sayogi is a supporter, someone who uplifts, someone who adds not just to their journey but to others as well. Now, today I have our guest Ankit with us, Ankit Agarwal from Value Nest Buyers Agency. Ankit built the business on one foundation, which is every buyer deserves to be represented through a professional. Every deal should be not taken lightly. Every deal is an emotional decision for every family, and that's what Ankit presents, and that's what Ankit stands for. Outside of buyer's agency, Ankit enjoys cooking, which is his outlet to running his business, and the temple community keeps him connected, and he values being grounded. Please welcome Ankit.
Thank you so much, Ashish, for the generous introduction. It's great to be here, and as you said, yes, the word Sayogi in itself means that we are here to give back to the community, to help build ourselves as well as others who are associated with us. So yeah, thank you so much again. I think would be a good chat to have here.
Amazing. Many people know what we do professionally, but not everyone knows who's the person behind the scenes or role. So, Ankit, before the property and business, tell us a little about yourself as a person.
Yeah, sure. So, see, I come from India, the northern part of India, relocated to Sydney in 2018. And I have spent almost 18 years into IT industry. So, worked with different companies in India and came here on a PR. So, yeah, like every other IT person, had a dream of doing some business, explored few options in India. Like you mentioned, I like to cook. So, there was a dream to build a restaurant. I did explore, open a restaurant actually. I did explore a lot of options in India as well, did work out. Uh, so, like, journey as in coming here was interesting as well. I had some on-sites through different IT companies. So we had little bit of savings. So one day when we were sitting, me and my wife, so we decided, like, we were just thinking of what to do. I just got someone filled in me the thoughts of getting a PR to Australia.
Yeah.
On the other side, I was thinking of doing a restaurant in India, in Gurgaon actually. So we just thought, what should we do? What sort of risks can we take? So eventually we ended up, applying for the PR, and sometimes it happened that the whole universe is trying to help you with something that you do. So
Absolutely.
that was one scenario here. I just got my PR at 65 points, which was very less, I would say. 6 months down the line, the things changed, and the point system, it was basically, it became very difficult to come to Australia. So it was the right timing and everything. I came to Australia, kept on working, but again, that back of the mind, it was there to do some business. So yeah, then, like, I think around 2020 when COVID hit, that's when I started exploring more about properties, got my own house, and then started building a portfolio, and then gradually turned towards business. So that's been my story in short. There had been a few ups and downs, a lot of learnings through property. It
Yep.
wasn't smooth at all, because when I went into property investing, it was without any knowledge, just by what people were saying around me, what all was happening around me.
Yep.
So just got carried away, getting house and land packages, getting a land, getting trapped by builders. So I've been through everything before ending up doing on my own research, trusting myself more than others,
Yeah.
and then eventually going on the path of business. So
Sometimes when I listen to your story and I look at you, I see me standing in front of a mirror.
right.
Because PR 65 points and giving back, property journey, learnings, and then started supporting friends and family. And then you realize that advice and support evolves into building a business.
Absolutely.
Please tell us about the family as well a little bit.
Yes. Yeah. So in Australia, like we have four, got one wife and two kids. So my elder is a daughter. She's 6 years old. We just recently had a son. He's 18 months now. So he keeps us very busy. Back home, my parents are there. I've got a younger brother. He's settled in UK. So short family, I think. But yes, I do get a lot of support from my family back from India. Even here, my wife is very supportive. So I think that that's very important when you run a business. All the values today I stand by, and I try to abide by are because of my parents. From the very beginning, from the childhood, they have instilled some values in
Yeah.
us.
First, I'd like to acknowledge the support that goes behind a business owner. I think it's immense. The second, acknowledgement to my wife as well, because that keeps my journey going as well. So, thank you. Give us a little bit of values that you've been raised with, and you'd like to instill that in your family and kids too.
At this stage, they are very young. So what we are trying to build, is the self confidence in the kids. So something that they can take lifelong. I think it's very important these days. If you continuously keep on nagging the kids or scolding the kids, it's very easy to shatter that confidence within the kids. So that is something I definitely try not to do. To assure them that they are safe, they are protected, and they build that confidence in them is something I would definitely. That is something my parents have done, and that is what I'm trying to do with my kids at this stage. And again, respect is something that needs to be taught to the kids. Again, boundaries, rules, these are very things, it's things which you need to gradually instill in them, but it starts at a very early age. So yeah, that's, and again, we are still raising the kids. We are also in the learning phase, I would say. Not perfect parents by any measures, but yeah, trying to be perfect and learning as we go by. So I think some mistakes we might have done with the elder one, we are trying to avoid those with the younger one, treating them well. So yeah, that I think that again, it's a journey.
And absolutely. And look, not everything's taught to kids, but certain things kids observe in us as well. So, in a way, a lot of people say you lead by example, and I think kids are the best avenue that showcases that they'll learn what they observe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry. So yeah, I think first of all, most important thing is following those values. Like very small things. We do puja at home every day. So they understand that what that is, what is the
Yeah.
importance of this. Now I don't have to tell my kids, even the younger ones. He just goes every day to the puja room and he does this.
Very nice.
He bows in front of God. So that these are very small things which should come from the very beginning. And I think we'll have more conversation around this, but when it comes to God, when it comes to mandir, it's more about something that instills fear in you that you won't do anything wrong, by the people around you, or that's more important.
Coming to your property buying journey, I'm sure your experience in property would have taught a lot of values and lessons as well. Would you like to cover a couple of those?
I started my journey buying my own house. That was in 2020 in Pendle Hill, and the turning point was like, actually, within a matter of 6 months, COVID hit, and post that, suddenly the valuations started growing a lot. Because you know,
Good times.
there was it was actually a very good time.
Yeah.
So I realized that actually that's when I started studying a little bit, but then I didn't get into it a lot.
Yeah.
Then I started thinking of investing. I got a land in Marston Park. There was a lot of heat around that area. People used to go early morning, stand in a queue. Together with that, I also got a house and land package in Bendigo. So now these two deals, they were good. They were good. They got me some profit, but I learned a lot from there. First thing, when I got the property in Marston Park, it took a lot of time. I waited for the settlement for 1 year or more, I think, and then the builder took his own time because of all the issues that were happening because
So
of the COVID lockdowns and all.
patience stands one of the values
Oh
for
my
sure.
God, a lot. So I used to call the project manager every week, 2 weeks. He never picked up my phone. If called from my wife's phone, he used to pick up because he didn't have the number
Yeah.
initially. So those sort of things I have faced, and they just don't care about people. They do what they want to. So again, no harsh feelings for any builder, to all the builders, but it's how the industry was at that stage,
Yeah.
because they were also under a lot of pump. So that's one thing. When I got the property in Bendigo, the builder went into administration.
Oh wow.
So I've suffered that loss as well. Again, I was lucky there that he did not go on site, and I was able to come out of that by paying a small deposit to him, which was forfeited around 15K. I lost there, which is okay, but then
Teaches you a
it
lot.
taught me a lot of
Yeah.
things. So then I realized that let's do it myself. There might be other ways of investing. So started then researching,
Learning and growing.
yeah, that's when I understood that buying house and land packages or buying off the plan property has its own merits, but it has a lot of demerits as well.
Absolutely.
And if you want to grow or scale, then I think buying established properties, buying older properties could be a better vehicle. Again, every now and then, time and again, with the changes again happening in the market, new or off the plan
Yeah.
properties could be a good vehicle as well. But then it depends on the scenarios and circumstances, and not every property is right for everyone and everyone's circumstances.
So that's what places you as a consultant, because you've got an exposure on so many different avenues around property and development as well,
Yes.
which brings that consulting confidence in you, and that's how you can support back the clients. So patience, learning and growing, consulting, amazing.
Over the time, like what I have realized is, what I have seen, that people try to sell you what they have.
Yeah.
So, for example, someone has an expertise in established properties. He'll try to pitch you established properties
Yeah.
and say that house and land packages are off the plan are not good. But then it's not true. Your portfolio, if you actually intend to build a portfolio, it has to be a mix of a lot of things. Like you talked about development. So development comes in place if you are looking for cash flows. You know, after certain extent, you will be burnt out with your savings, or you need some money to sustain
True.
your portfolio. That's when you every now and then you have to do some sort of development, which can be a subdivision, renovation, multiple things can be done. So building the portfolio, mapping people based on the people's requirement or client's requirement, that is something we try to do.
Amazing. And I use a 3 stage mechanism to explain, where stage 1 is accumulation, stage 2 is pivoting to cash flow, and stage 3 is churning cash, which is done by developments. But again, you can move on to different stages, but ideally, for most people, depending upon the risk appetite, that's the flow. So, what would you say between all the instances that we've talked about? Actually, what we haven't talked about is cooking. So, tell us more about cooking and how cooking supports you, maybe to relieve that day to day stress as well, I'm assuming, but a creative outlet as well, which also needs that attention to detail. So, please help us understand a little bit about your cooking hobby.
I went to Mexico for 1 year. That was in
My
2016.
God, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I've been to Monterey as well for 3 months. I think we need to discuss more.
Yeah, sure. So that was a place where I'm a vegetarian. So that was a place I found very difficult in the beginning. So uh, you hardly get anything to eat vegetarian, especially outside.
With you.
Yeah. So that's when I started learning cooking, and then slowly I developed that interest in cooking, and started uh, uh, then YouTube helped learning a lot of dishes and also, but then it developed as a hobby. I started cooking for my family and all, so that's how it started, it developed. But again, like, see, I think a well cooked dish is where you need patience, you need preparation, and the ingredients have to be right.
Yeah.
And I think that is something which we can incorporate in our lives, in our business as well. A very, when it comes down to specifically about property deals, again, a well cooked property deal, a well structured property portfolio is something we like to see for ourselves and for our clients as well. So it's very similar. And I think, what are the ingredients for a property? A well researched market where you go in, with all the details, all the data, timing it correctly. Same like cooking, you can't overheat it, you can't undercook
True.
it. So that timing and time in the market. So it's very related to our lives, to our business, and if it's structured properly, it could be a perfect dish for your wealth building.
And that exposure, expertise, and experience,
Yes,
practical experience, teaches you that no textbook can otherwise.
absolutely.
And this is where also I feel sometimes the decision making is so important as opposed to just getting the property and hand holding. So, all these experiences around cooking and property, what was the biggest lesson learned about yourself?
Being in the industry where I have done a job, I've worked for someone, you don't realize the other side of you, wherein, when you first get into when I first got into business, so I met so many different people,
Yeah.
with different attitude towards everything. Like, someone is quick to make decisions, other person will take long time to decide what to do, what not to do. The different risk profiles for different
Yes.
people, different way of
Personality and
personalities
behaviors.
and behaviors, and you have to adapt to everything
True.
and still be calm, still be patient, and understand them. That is the most important thing, which I thought I am not the right person to do. But then over the time I learned that, and then I today, every type of customer, whether he's quick to make decisions, he's sort of straightforward customers are there. Some customers or some clients are there who will keep evolving around things. A lot of, some need a lot of detailed analysis, data, anything, any XYZ thing, you still sit with them calmly, understand them, and try to do right by them. So I think that is something which I discovered, that it is a great trait to have inside
Yeah.
you. This, again, this is something you are not born with. There may be some people, but then this is something you develop and you learn over time. So I think this is something which this business and interaction with people, clients, have taught me.
And between all these conversations and learnings, were there moments or was there a particular moment when you had that fear, uncertainty about taking certain decision, and then how did you overcome that?
And this was there every day, every night when I started initially. Um, I did it for myself. I did it for some of my friends without getting any payment for that, right? That is totally a different thing. When you are taking risk for yourself, you know what you're getting into, and
Yeah.
if there's anything goes wrong, anything goes south, you are the one bearing the consequences. But then when you're doing with for someone else, it's a big responsibility.
True.
And when it comes to property, it's not a small thing. I've met people, like, one of my earlier clients was, I met a person in his age of 60 to 65 years, I think.
Yeah.
He wanted to retire, he could not retire, and his journey, his story was, like many people. He 20 30 years back, he got a unit in Westmead,
Yeah.
which was paid off, and it didn't grow. He got it for maybe, I think, 250 300K. It's still valued at 600K. After that, some unfortunate incidents happened. He couldn't invest in property. When he met me, he was at a stage where he had 500K in his super, but that was not sufficient for him for the rest of his life. So he was in that dilemma. So I can't do wrong by him by telling him that I have an property, established property, go for it. So
Yeah.
that it's a big responsibility because his future depends on it.
Yeah.
And that here you can't be selfish here. You have to think about different people,
Absolutely.
by the people you are dealing with. So, and if the good thing is like, see, if I can't help someone in the way they want, then I would say no, rather than getting them into a mess.
True.
So, I think, yeah, uh, every night, in initial years, I used to think like whether this deal is right for this person or not. I was very scared that I promised him 15-20% growth. Will it happen or not? Though there's richer research, there's data backed by it, but you still have those,
Yeah, true.
moments when you still think that I can't do wrong by someone. So yeah, initial years it was very tough, but then slowly when you get into it, when you get more confidence that you've done right, and your research is working, data is working. So I think that's when you mature over time.
And that's the point, right? Because it's not just a transaction, it's someone's dreams, it's someone's life savings that they're betting, and someone's trust that they're placing in you, and you just can't afford to break that.
No,
Uh,
because this is a decision which you actually can't go wrong at all. It's like you have to get it right every time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you are playing with someone's financial future, which could be a big thing in today's market with so much uncertainty all around. It can't go wrong simply.
And that's precisely what ties us back to our values. Because if you're following and preaching certain values, rest assured that you've done right by someone you're working with. And look, growth or not, um, an outcome or not is not guaranteed, but
Definitely.
you've done everything right in your ability and power by someone, which is amazing. Coming to the purpose, trust, and responsibility, you've mentioned a statement saying every buyer deserves a genuine professional. Where does that statement comes from?
When I started getting into established properties, right? So I first hired a buyer's agent because I did the research. I did a lot of data study myself, but then still that confidence was not there to get my first property myself. So I thought of I was looking into the market. So I thought let me go with a buyer's agent and see how that works. I paid an upfront deposit. It was around 17-18K for the total deal.
I can figure out already who you engaged.
So then, yeah, 2-3 weeks down the line, he showed me a property. The same property I also got through one of the off-market agent. I was also in the market. I rejected the property uh, because I knew there were some issues with the property. Same thing came to me saying that it's a perfect property for you. You should take this property. This will happen. That will happen. But then, and then I'm paying 17-18K for that, right? So that's when I realized that every other agent or every other person is might not be right
Yeah.
for you, might not be right for your scenario situations. So I thought of getting into it myself. That gave me some confidence that okay, I am doing things right. If I can reject something and someone else is selling me the same thing, then it's not right actually.
Yeah.
So that's when I started thinking more about business,
Yeah.
that helping the community, and again helping them buy the right properties or right assets which can actually assist in their financial wealth.
Absolutely. And this is, again, I may sound like a broken record, but the values become real when following the right thing is not the easiest business decision.
Yes.
And sometimes people are driven either by greed or by fear and bypass the values. And when it's most needed to follow those. Um, you've already mentioned one instance where the client in his elderly age and the property may not be the right decision. But have you ever advised anyone saying, apart from this instance, that no, property is not the right decision for you?
When you are dealing mostly with elderly people, that's where I think it has come down to that path where property is not the right decision, because people are trying to buy from the SMSF at the age of 65-70 and wait to buy an established property and then let it grow for another 10 years. So that's where it becomes a little bit risky, I would say, because property needs some time to grow. It doesn't grow overnight, and it's about with SMSF it's good, like until unless you get some positive cash flows and all. So again, depends on certain scenarios, certain situations. Again, like we say no if, if the cash flow is poor for the for the person who's trying to buy a property in today's market with 7 8, people try to get into the market with third tier lenders, 7 8 8.5% interest rate. I've seen that. So, and then poor on cash flow. So I think
Yeah.
getting into the market with that sort of risk is not advisable. So rather than that, wait, do more savings, do more, so that you can do a little bit more down payment, because that is what your situation requires. So it depends on the scenarios,
Yeah.
but buying a property is not for everyone, and it is for everyone as well,
Absolutely.
if done correctly only. If you're just buying it for the sake of it, then that's not right.
Coming to values back, and that's where the dharma stands, right? The only time I listen from my kids is just that's karma.
Yes.
So well, then brings me to dharma as well, right? The way we live our life, it's not just a ritual, it's how we decide, how we serve the community, how we abide by those values and live our life. So can you walk us through the values you preach for Value Nest?
We are talking so much about values. I think this is the most important thing to have. It is something which teaches you respect, which teaches you, how you treat others. Use this thing for my company because I wanted to bring value for every house I buy for my clients.
Amazing.
And by value, I mean, in terms of finance, in terms of their, managing their emotions,
Yeah.
in every aspect, I would say. So that's why, whenever we do a deal, we call it a value deal.
Yeah.
We've done value deal 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what we do, because it is something which is bringing some value to your household, to your family, and to your future security as well. So that word had to be there in the name of my company. So that's how it is. And see, again, by preaching values, again, like connecting to the temple, connecting to the Sanatan Dharma helps me grounded again. It brings that fear in me that I should not do wrong by others, otherwise someone else is sitting on top of my head to punish me, or show me the karma.
Yeah,
you're talking
as they
about.
say, karma bites back.
Karma is back. Yeah. So yeah, and I think that should be there, because otherwise, if you don't have that fear which comes to the values,
Yeah.
see, by fear I doesn't mean you have to be scared of someone, but it actually stops you from doing something wrong.
It's like you're observing yourself.
Yes.
So you don't need someone standing over your shoulders to tell you what to do, because you know what's right. And is this how the values are reflected in your day to day behavior and working as well?
Yes, absolutely.
Amazing. Like, how do then cultural and spiritual values influence how you treat people and run your business?
This community has given me so much.
Yeah.
Most of our client base are Indians. So that is which shows that they are trusting us. They are
Yeah.
trusting their fellow Indians. So it is very important again to, and this community is a very sentimental community, very emotional community, where every wrong step, and again, people coming from overseas
Yeah.
are taking a big decision already migrating here.
Spot
And
on.
here, if they have a major loss, or they are not treated correctly by someone just because of their greed, or just because to satisfy their own interests, it's not right, and there is no going back.
Yeah.
You've left your family, and you've sacrificed so much to be here, and I'm seeing people, especially who come as students, such a big journey for them, such a difficult path they go through before getting the PR and getting settled in Australia.
Yeah.
It's not easy to survive here. So I think connecting to the culture, connecting to our values, again, it's something which instills that confidence in them as well, that this person is not going to do anything wrong by us, and that's what I try to abide by again. So that's what we always try to build on. And if I'm like, we meet every month, we try to discuss things, but if we are sitting in a temple and doing that discussion for the business, you can't even think of you know something negative there.
Yeah.
Everything comes out as very positive, and everything you do will be definitely, you just can't do wrong. That's what I feel, because you've got so much positivity around you.
And that's precisely what sahyog or sahyogi means, because we're supporting each other as well. Doesn't matter if we're in the same business, different business. It's a support at human level first,
Yes.
and then subsequent support. Talking about, you mentioned there's the subcontinent audience and ideal customer profiles. So I fully concur to that. One thing that I've realized is the involvement of emotions, and that emotions sometimes come out.
Yeah.
Um, I see people forgetting their place at times, but at times we can't forget ours.
Yes.
And that's again tying back to the values and what we are supporting, never to take things personally.
Yes.
So, how do you keep yourself calm and grounded in pressure?
Cooking, spending time with my family, that is something, a stress buster sort of thing. Again, going out with friends and all. So these are the, I like to play cricket, I like to play badminton.
Amazing.
So sports, some, and other, being, doing your hobbies is something that definitely helps you relieve and all the pressure, stress, because it's not easy to do business. You have stress every day,
Absolutely.
every second day. And you are right, even people forget their place. We can't do that. And this type of things happen every other day, where sometimes people take us for granted, but then you can't forget your place. You have to still be calm, and you have to make sure that you are still abiding by your values and doing the right thing. So, spending time with family, not over, just thinking about business or some, that's something which always helps too. So, calm down. And I think taking care of yourself, exercising, these things definitely help you.
So, well being and family and health, I think and this is where I'm seeing sometimes it's a sequence of certain steps as well, where you secure yourself, you secure your family, and then you focus on well being and health, and then you start
Yeah.
to give back.
You need to be happy in your life first thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can't make others happy.
Yeah. Put your
So,
oxygen mask first.
yes, definitely. So, make sure you're happy. Whatever makes you happy, do that. And then go on helping others.
Which actually reminds me of an instance. I got a call once, and I hear, oh, you know what, just what do you charge? And it's very common
Yeah.
conversations in any business. And I said, look, let's sit and have a discussion to see what's important to you. I'd love to run you past our values as well, to see if they align with yours. Or just don't give me this crap about values. It's a business transaction. You're taking money, and I'm seeking service from you. Don't give me this crap about values. And I said, look, already from the behavior and conversation, it leads me to believe we won't be able to work with each other. So I do apologize, and I'd like to disconnect at this point. Or you see what I can do to you on social media. So you see, immediately that's a dodged bullet, is what came to my mind. So,
Of course, yeah.
just any such instance you can think of?
These small things always happen. Where people just want to know what is your fees. That's all. So it's about, people trying to shop around, rather than. I have come across a few things like, got a call from another, actually, I would start with a person who, he called me. He took my 40 minutes, I think, understanding our process and everything, and all the details and every minute thing. Later on, he told me that I am a buyer's agent as well. So so, sometimes people don't understand that, and that was just for all the information. I just told him,
You
like,
could have started
you
with
could
that
have
statement.
told me. I could have given the information. It's
Absolutely.
not about. So, that's how you have to live with, because we are
Respecting
so much
time
on
as
social
well.
media. We've put all our contact details, personal details on social media everywhere. Everyone knows it. So, and many times on my posts, and, random people would say, same sort of crap, another buyer's agent in the market, and
Yeah, it was.
we just need to ignore those and get on. That's we can't do anything about it.
So you mentioned the temple community is close to your heart, and temple's just not a place of worship at times. It's a place for belongingness. It's a place for sometimes your identity. a satisfaction of being connected to others as well.
Yeah.
What does the temple community mean to you?
It gives me a sense of peace. Firstly, whenever I go to temple, and uh, now with the busy lives, we can't go every day or even every week sometimes. But then whenever that stress comes in, it's not mandatory to go to temple only to worship God. You can do it anywhere again. But see, whenever we feel distressed or sorry, stressed out, or not in a happy place, we just go to the temple.
Yeah.
So that's what I do, that's what my family does. Spend there even 10-15 minutes. You get so much positive energy there. So you feel refreshed, you feel that okay, you feel charged up again. You feel that someone is by your side to help you with your difficult times. So I think it's very important to have that positivity in your life, and temple is a place that gives me that positivity.
Yep. Having a belief that there's someone, a higher being, that's there to support you as well, provided you're doing everything right. Associated to temple, we use a word called seva, right? So seva is sometimes just simply showing up with that sincerity and giving back. What does seva means to you?
See, I think in a broad context, seva is like helping others with whatever you can. And it's like it's not that you always have to financially help. So even with our temple community, being there, helping people like Deepak who are doing so much for the community. Go a simple step like just he does so much on social media. A simple step like telling 10 people about it, wherever you meet, preaching that would make a difference, bringing people together. And these things help a lot to the new migrants coming to Australia specifically. It could help to the people in stress as well, when they know that there are so many businesses associated with the temple. There are so many people who have gone through the same journey. So just that conversation in itself can bring some belief in others that okay, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So I think that is more important. And again, like I don't want to say anything here because I like to keep it a secret whatever I do in terms of seva. But uh, that's something I don't want to as well. So, but again, like being connected, being part of the community is the most important thing, and showing your presence whenever you can.
Yeah.
For the people in need, or people
Yeah.
in need means just even if they need your suggestion, they need to know about your journey. That is more than enough sometimes.
And you've picked a very good point. It's not just about giving back in monetary terms, but it also giving back in terms of the value, the advice, the time. At the end of the day, time boils down to money as well, right? So, and I think it's just how we perceive how seva can be associated in more practical terms in our day-to-day life. Um,
And one more thing I'll add here. See,
please.
I think in today's times where we are sitting in an era of artificial intelligence, and information is a thing which is available so readily, and it is the most dangerous thing as well if it is not consumed correctly, or if incorrect information is consumed. So if you are standing in front of someone giving the right information as well, that is itself a seva, I would say.
Everyone's willing to give an opinion, and you don't know who to trust, who to go back to.
Yeah.
So, very well said, Ankit. And in your statements, you've mentioned something saying the the giving back is not just an option; it's a responsibility, right? So, would you can you elaborate on that statement, please?
You've come in this world, the community, the country, whether it is India, Australia, and they've given you so much. We are here today in a very comfortable position. If we see there's a lot of struggle around the world. uh, I'm a part of BNI, if you
Yeah.
as you are as well. So there are a few NGOs which we meet, and they show us the real picture of the world. So
Sure.
and if you are in a position where you can give back even a little bit, and which could help others have a meal, or have an entire days of meal, or an it's huge. It's huge. There's no comparison there. And it always comes back to you, your right virtues, right values, the right you do by by people, it always comes back to, it's not that we are doing that because something comes back to us, but yes, your good deeds are always appreciated by the energy around the universe. And I think it's very important. It should not be optional. um, and again, you don't need to be again, like we discussed, it's not only about monetary things, it's about whatever you can give back to the community, it is important.
Something I was talking to a professional who actually supports the kids that have been bullied, and he said there's always something going on in the personal lives of those who actually bully. And it also then brings us back to um, the statements that say, you can't judge a book by its cover. You don't know what's going on in everyone's life. They may seem okay, but then it's just sometimes about asking that, are you really okay? um, Now, coming to that, the younger generation needs a direction as well. I think now is the time when the world needs most leaders. So from your perspective, how important it is for the next generation to stay connected to their culture and heritage?
See, like, again, the era we are entering into, this is the most dangerous one, I would say, because again, information is there, a lot of information is there, most of it is incorrect or incomplete. So, and with all the artificial intelligence, 5 years down the line, there might be a lot of robots as well. So, staying connected, relationships are something which is going to matter most in coming years, coming days. People who have built relationships are the ones who are going to thrive, because that is the only who, I think, humanly emotion which is left now.
Yeah.
Everything else is a transaction. So the better relationships you build, and a community, especially a temple community, is the best thing to do that, where you meet all the genuine people. If someone is going to a temple, he has something good in his heart, definitely. So you can trust that. So building that relationship with the community members can take you a long way, whether it is your personal life, whether you are doing a job, whether you are doing a business. You need those relationships to survive in this era, and in this the next coming generations. What
So
Because it's gonna make a huge difference, AI especially. Yeah.
so you feel that association to a higher being persistent, showing up consistently, because
Yeah.
time's an issue in everyone's life at this point. So showing up consistently matters.
Yes. And association not to a higher being only, but association to your community, to other humans, I would say. That is more important. And that can come in a sacred place, in a pure place like temple.
And relationships is one important aspect of that too, because I was reading about the 6 human needs where most people relate themselves to significance, right? How significant am I, or how significant can I become? But then, if significance would have been the only human need important or equally important, then billionaires would not have committed suicide.
Yeah.
So, coming back, that love and connection and relationships is very important. Growth aspect is really important. And then comes your value of giving back, which is amazing. So, very well said. Now, if there's one thing that Australian families could protect, according to you, what that one thing would be?
In my experience, like since I've been Australian in the last 8 9 years, one thing that we are losing is actually our connection to our roots. And that is sometimes because I want to show that I've grown out of that community, and I want to basically uh, be more aligned to the Western world. So I think I've seen people started thinking that religion is not important anymore. It's superstitious, basically.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
I heard that.
started,
I hear that. Yeah.
which is not true actually. Like we've discussed so many things about values and all. I don't say that be superstitious. I still think that being religious and being connected to our roots is very important, and that is something we should not lose wherever we are. and that is one. You will earn money, you will have all the comfort in your life, but if you lose your values, if you lose your religions, your connection to your roots, there will be a time in life where you'll miss all these things. And I think that is something to protect. Again, relationships with your families back home, with your parents back home,
Yeah.
uh, teaching our next generations the same thing is very important, and it is a challenge for us today, because we want our kids to grow up in a free environment, in an independent environment, and in search of that, in running after that independence, we sometimes lose those values. So having a balance of both is very important, and that is something every individual should protect.
Absolutely. And we were talking about the kids because they may not listen to what we say. And we always, I hear so many parents talking to each other and saying, oh, my kids don't listen to me. But you know what? The kids absorb what we live.
Yeah.
And if we live by values and ethics, they'll absorb that. So, as people also say, there are no bad kids, it's always bad parents or teachers. So, very well said. Now, let us end with something practical for people watching as well. What advice would you like to give to the first home buyers and new investors?
Buying a property is, it should not be driven by the market decisions,
Yeah.
or what's happening in the market, all the noise. Again, I think connecting to the right professional is very important. And right now, what I'm seeing is a lot of people are in a fear that what's going to happen in the market will crash. I should buy a property, not buy a property. Property should be, apart from your house, it should be used as a vehicle for your growth. So every decision should be made based on data and research, not by so much news and noise around you. So I think start early. It is, see, I always say that, savings are very important. So to and for young families, it's really important to start those saving early in the years. So you are still 23, 24, maybe started working. So a portion of your savings, of portion of your earnings should go towards your saving, and that could be used for investments, whether it is property or any other asset class you like. But yeah, property investing, I think it is a great tool, but great vehicle. It has made a lot of people rich, and there is still so much more that can be done if it is done correctly. So hold the hand of a professional, and don't be scared by just the noise and the news.
Media feeds on negative news, and that's why it becomes really important to understand and follow people who've achieved what you're trying to achieve. And that's where advice and listening to the right professional like Ankit from Value Nest comes in. Very well said, Ankit. And just reiterating, what does the word Sahayogi means to you in your day-to-day life and otherwise?
Sahyogi is someone who is assisting the community, who is helping people in need, or who is helping, the other businesses, other people connected to them grow along with himself. So that's what we try to do, being a Sahyogi of Sanatan Dharma temple. We are small businesses who are connected together as a Sahyogi and assisting in the growth of our community, and trying to bring in more and more people to join this community, so that I think everyone can achieve that sense of calm and peace in their lives.
And what final message, Ankit, you'd like to leave for the audience?
Being connected to your religion, not in a superstitious way, but in a way which gives you faith, in a way which gives you positivity, is very, very important. So it hardly takes a few minutes a day to worship the religion you believe in. So definitely go for that. Don't be shy of that, and we should make sure our kids, our coming generations also learn the same thing from us.
Looking at your journey so far, Ankit, just quick three questions. So, looking at your journey so far, what are you most grateful for?
I think I'm most grateful for the family that I have. Like I said, money is only a transaction. It can come, it can go anytime. It doesn't matter a lot. It does matter, of course, but not in that same sense.
We understand.
More important to have that family who's standing right by you, and everyone is healthy. That's more important. So I'm grateful to have a great family who always stands by me, and supports me in every decision I make.
What's one value you'd never like to compromise as Value Nest grows?
Helping others and doing right by every person I work with. So again, like we also talked about it, that whether for it's a property. Whether it will grow or not, that cannot be guaranteed. But doing right what I could, by every person I work with, that is the only thing I will always try to do.
If the audience from today can remember just one thing, what would that one thing be?
I think that respect for others. So that's one thing which you should always have within you, and that is some. And then relationships, whether it is a business or whether whatever it is, relationships are something which will take you forward, and which will take you a long way. Sometimes, just elaborating this, sometimes there can be conflict between business and between maintaining the values. So, but then if you have built the right relationships and you are doing right, your business will grow only on the referrals. You don't need even any marketing for that.
When it comes to risk, always follow safe, and when it comes to values, always follow the right thing. So, very well said. Ankitji, thank you for sharing your experience and journey today. So, as you relate, property is a big decision, it's emotions driven, and that's where a professional like you would come in. Coming to supporting and following the values of Sanatan Dharma and how we incorporate that into our day to day lives, how we value our family, our kids, what values we'd like to instill in our kids. And that's what we've learned today from Ankit. As I've always said, Sanatan Dharma is not a way of living, it's a way of serving community. It's a way how we support each other. And that's exactly what we've brought out today while we had a chat to Ankit. Ankitji, thank you again so much for being here. We'd appreciate, we value your journey. We've cherished your story today. Thank you so much. Thank you to our audience listening as well. Thank you to 24 Pods, which is a podcast partner. And thank you to Deepak and the Ataman Temple and the community around it.